My name is Rosann Lee and I am 34 years old.
Now tell us your favourite journey.
My favourite journey to Glasgow was a very long time ago. I was about 11 or 12 years old and I had gone to Spain.
Wow.
Calella de Palafrugell with my granny and granda and my big cousin John.
Right. And
they decided it was a cracking idea to go in the coach.
Wow.
Because 36 hours in a coach sounds like a smashing idea. So we went anyhow, and it was a pretty uneventful journey on the way there. Everything went fine.
Did you leave from?
We were left from Buchanan bus station.
Right.
The one bus. The bus got on the ferry down at Dover, right out to Calais,
Jesus.
and then right through France and up to Spain. Silver Crest coaches. That's who we went
did
with.
that cost? About 40 bob?
Aye, probably. I think they paid for it in Kensington Scootums. I'm sure. So anyway, but that was fine. We had a lovely 2-week holiday. It was smashing, and then on the way back, we had managed to get through Spain, and we get to France, and then hit a massive traffic jam in France, quite late at night. So we've been in this traffic jam for about 4 or 5 hours. The bus hadn't moved.
Oh my God.
The bus had moved maybe 10 metres in 4 or 5 hours, and everybody was getting a bit annoyed. None more than my granda, who was by this point.
What's he called?
He's called Jimmy. He died in 2009.
Well, this is a great story for Jimmy.
Aye, so Jimmy was...
Describe Jimmy.
Jimmy was, he was quite a big guy, full head of hair, snowy white hair, jet black eyebrows.
I love him already. Did he look like an eagle?
Aye, and he had the most straight to the point, cutting attitude you'd have. If you needed to hear something, he'd be the man that told you, like Jimmy. It or don't like it, call a spade a spade. He was actually also the Secretary of Housing for the whole of Pollok.
Oh wow.
So when they get the government grant to do all the houses up in the whole of Pollok, the cheque came through their door, and the housing association round about here is called Rose Hill, and he was their Secretary of Housing for years and years and years, so he's quite a well-known figure in this area, and the local Labour councillor for this area as well was my granda's best mate.
Right.
So
on the bus.
So we're on the bus anyway, and another thing about my granda was that my granda smoked about 80 fags a day. So he decided he was having a fag, he needed a fag. So he approached the driver and said to the driver, "Listen mate, I'm getting off for a fag." And the driver said, "No, you're no."
How long had this been? How long?
We're now about a good 6-7 hours or so into the traffic jam, right? So there should have been a designated stop, but we hadn't quite reached it because of the traffic jam. So he was starting to go a bit mental. So he decided he was getting off. The driver said, "No, you're no." Now, my granda had 2 main points. Number one was, "What you going to do, drive away without me?" "No, you're no, because you're not moving." "I'm not going to get knocked down, because nothing else is moving."
Brilliant.
"And I'm going to get out, I'm going to get out and have a fag." So the driver was dead against it, but anyway, he pressed the emergency door open button.
Good Jimmy.
And the fag was lit, I think, before his toes touched the French tarmac, right? So he's outside, smoking his big Super King, and I'll never forget sitting at the window looking out, and I'm saying to my granny, "Can I go out?" And she was like, "No, sit in your ass." So half the bus, it was a double decker, we were down the stairs at the seats with the tables, half the bus have all looked out the window and went, "Wait a minute, isn't that man out having a fag? Geez, the fags, I'm going out for the driver's letting folk out for a fag." So the next minute, half the bus are all outside smoking. Then folks started getting out their motors and smoking as well. They're all talking about what a scandal this traffic jam is and what the hell's causing it, and they were all furious.
And Jimmy was right in the middle.
And he was right in the middle of the revolution. I think he had about 2 or 3 fags by this point. He was topping up his nicotine, and that was fine. So they all had a nice wee chat. We had the Eiffel Tower as a backdrop.
Oh, wonderful!
All lit up at night. It was lovely. It was a beautiful night.
Was it all Glaswegians in the bus?
It was the whole bus were headed for Buchanan bus station. They were all going to Buchanan bus station.
And Jimmy's turned into Che Guevara.
Exactly. These weren't the folk that were rich. These were folk that went to Spain on a bus.
Working class,
exactly.
Smokers.
Exactly. So they've all got back in the bus, and that was fine. And again, we continued to crawl. I think it was 12 hours in total, the whole traffic jam before we had to clear road. When we got to the front, we discovered that the whole cause of this traffic jam had been an old man with a wee old-fashioned, antiquated machine. Do you know what it looks like? See one of the metal lawnmowers?
Yes.
The old ones that you did, they plug in?
Yes.
It was like one of them, but it was going over the white lines.
And that's what caused the whole...
And that's what had caused it. So then my granda tried to start another revolution.
Did he?
Where folk were to get off the bus and batter this wee man.
Brilliant.
But nobody was up for that.
No.
So that was that, and we eventually got home. Instead of getting home at midday, we got home at midnight.
I love that story. Jimmy will always live on in our memories.